Hello everyone. As most of you know, I do like to keep or collect some of the rarer pigeon genes, so I thought today it might be interesting to have a look at them and do a countdown to the top 5 rare genes that I keep. And make sure you stay at the end because I'll do a few honourable mentions afterwards. Anyway, let's pick up some pigeons. So we'll start the countdown at number 5, which is barless. Now there are some breeds, especially some of the European show breeds, where barless is quite common. But in most flying breeds, and especially in racing pigeons, it is a fairly rare gene. Of course, barless is one of the pattern alleles, which means it's a gene at the same place in the chromosome as bar, checker, dark checker, those kind of things. And like I said, it's most common in some of the European field pigeon or show pigeon breeds, which indicates that it's a mutation that probably developed in Europe and has slowly started spreading around the world. I am currently working on a barless racing pigeon project, and I'll do an update video on that fairly soon, but at the moment this hen is the only homozygous barless pigeon that I have, but I am working pretty hard on improving my barless carrier pigeons, and I'm aiming, at the moment it's just an aim, not a promise, I am aiming to have a barless racing pigeon ready to race next year, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, number 5 on my list is barless. Number 4 is a gene that I have spoken about relatively recently, so I won't spend too much time on it, but it is one of the most beautiful in my opinion. And that is reduced. Similar to dilute, reduced is a sex-linked colour lowering gene, but instead of just cutting out the amount of pigment, it sort of changes it more to a beautiful pastel colour. And I really think this is one of the most attractive genes that you can get in pigeons. The way it changes the blue into this really nice pastel pink colour is really, in my opinion, quite incredible. Like I said in the other video, the origins of this colour is a little complicated. According to all the history books, it was found in the United States with roller pigeons. But a lot of Australian older pigeon flyers will tell you that this colour was in South Australia in racing pigeons well before that. And it's entirely possible, quite likely, that this colour has actually mutated twice, once here in Australia and also overseas in the United States in roller pigeons. But number 4, reduced. Number 3 in the countdown is a gene that I really like and I wish was more common, and that is brown. And just as a quick side note, you might notice that some of my birds have this red staining on them at the moment. It's not blood, it's just a vitamin supplement that I've been giving them, and it has stained a few of their feathers. Anyway, brown is an allele of the colour series, so it's an allele of blue and ash red, but it is by far the rarest of all the colours, which I think is a real shame. It's quite a pretty colour. I actually have 3 brown pigeons at the moment. There's this old, very old brown bar, and I also have a spread brown and a brown grizzle. Here's the spread brown, and I'm sure just by looking at it, you can see why I like this colour so much. Some people confuse this for recessive red, but it is a fair bit darker than recessive red. But in general, it's just a really nice colour that I like quite a lot. I am trying to get this solid brown in racing pigeons. This is a homing pigeon. She can definitely find her way home from a toss, but she's not going to win any races. So at the moment, I'm really keen to get this solid spread brown colour into some good quality racing pigeons. I might have to do an update video on these guys in the future, but I will let you know that a grandson of this hen is actually a race winner from my brown project. The winner himself wasn't brown, he's a pied blue checker, but I am making progress on this. Anyway guys, number 3, brown. Now, I am cheating a little bit with number 2, because as you can see this is a blue bar, but it's not the colour she's expressing that I have this bird for, it's the rare gene that she carries, and that is a gene called Ember. And it's a gene that's so rare that I actually don't have an Ember pigeon to show you. I only have this one and her son, who are Ember carriers. So I'll put up a picture for you to see, but it's a really interesting gene, Ember. It's named for the effect that it has when it's homozygous. It sort of makes the birds look like they're glowing like embers in a fire. And again, it's a gene that has a fairly interesting history. The gene was described or discovered in feral pigeons, but it's most likely that the gene is originally from domestic pigeons. And this pigeon, the Ember gene that she has, was not from ferals, it was from a domestic origin. But unfortunately, because I haven't bred an Ember yet, I don't have much to show you. So, watch this space. At the moment, we just have rare gene number 2, Ember. Alright, let's go for number 1. So number 1 in my rare genes in the loft is this hen. And she's not yellow, she's not cream. This is actually a blue checker, believe it or not. And of course, blue checker isn't rare. What's rare is the modifier, which has caused her to look like this. This is an extreme dilute blue checker hen. Some people call this colour lemon, but the gene is extreme dilute. And again, like some of the other genes in this list, extreme dilute has a bit of an interesting history. It's a gene that has mutated probably at least 4 times, I think, from the research I've done. There's this form, which mutated in Australia. I think there are 2 from America and 1 from Africa. There might be 1 from Europe, I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while since I've read the documentation on this gene. But number 1, extreme dilute. If we look very closely at her tail, you might not even be able to see it on the camera, but there is actually a tail bar across here. And that's how I can tell that this is a blue checker and not a red checker. One unfortunate thing about extreme dilute pigeons is that they do have poorer eyesight than the normal coloured pigeons, which unfortunately means that I can't fly any extreme dilute pigeons. But I really do think it's important to try and keep and maintain some of the more rare genetics, which is why I am keeping extreme dilute, as well as some of the other genes in my loft that I've showed you today. Anyway guys, like I said, we're going to look at some honourable mentions. So let's grab the camera and have a look at some of the other birds. So one honourable mention is this guy, my little half-sider. You've seen him in the past. He's ash red on this side, but if we get closer you'll see that he's actually blue on the other side. So this is quite a rare phenotype, and the reason he didn't make the rare genes list is because this is not an inheritable gene. It is really just a genetic error that happened in him as an individual whilst his embryo was developing, which means unfortunately he cannot pass his colour on to his young, and we can't intentionally breed any more like him. Another pigeon which is a very rare phenotype, but is actually the combination of two quite common genes, is this guy. He is a homozygous recessive opal, but he's also a grizzle, and he might be smoky as well. And the combination of those genes has produced this very pretty colour. And this is actually a colour that you could quite easily breed yourself. Grizzle's very common, recessive opal's quite common. Put them together and you can get something like this. Up in the corner there, I also have Skipper, which... now there's a barless in front. But Skipper is a gene that's quite common in some breeds, but in racing and homing pigeons is fairly rare. So it's a gene that I'm happy to have to work with as well. And then over here, we have my little crested hen. Which again is a gene that's not too uncommon, but it's a nice one to have. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed that little countdown of the top 5 rarest genes in my loft. If you've enjoyed, make sure you drop a like, and I'll catch you next time.